We're standing here with Mr. Cy Young, who was our guest speaker for the 2013 A Greater Man Than Me MADE Conference, Men of Academic Distinction and Excellence, here at the Dennis Wicker Civic Center in Sanford, North Carolina. Mr. Young, we thank you for coming out and pouring out of your heart.
Thank you. I had a really good time. So.
It was great, and we saw the faces on the young men and some of the ladies that they just sat in awe, just absorbed.
Well, prayerfully, some of the things that we shared, they'll take the nuggets with them and grow from it, and then they'll give them away and grow more.
Yes, sir. And one thing you said when you give, you always get in return.
Absolutely.
And so that's one of the things we definitely want to point out today. When you give, you give in return. One thing that the MADE program is doing today, we're donating canned goods, and we're going to give to 2 local agencies here in the Sanford Lee County area. And guess what? We live on purpose.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Young.
Thank you. Thank you. Bless you.
Yes, sir.
The information go faster, so you send and receive information much, much more quickly because of technology. Would you agree? Well, then if you've got these really smart phones, they allow you to receive the information, get the information much faster. If you've got the information, then it gets your knowledge base. Your foundation is big, would you agree? So, if you've got the information, or you can find the information, I'm a Google fanatic. You know, I've seen those commercials where they're comparing Bing and Google. Bing, Google. Actually, whichever one works the best for you is the one you should use. But at this time, there's no reason for you not to have the information unless you just don't want it. Unless you just don't want to go get it. There are times when you can say, I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like walking outside or downstairs, in my case, to the computer. That's too far. Over at Young's Disco Palace, where I live. You know, from one side of the house to the other, which really isn't very far. I'm joking you real bad. It ain't like, you know, your house, unless you live in, you know, a 19 or 20,000 square foot mansion, you don't have that far to go to walk to a computer, or most of us can get it on your hip. Yes? So if you've got access to the information and aren't using it, then that's on you. But that first impression thing means that when they start asking you questions, when you start asking me questions, and I don't have the answer, I should go find the answer. If you're looking for a job, or if you're looking to change positions, you should have the information or go find it. When I decided that I wanted to be a radio programmer, the radio program director decides and is responsible for everything you hear on the radio. What the DJs say, how they say it, the music that they play. And, you know, there's this, back in the day, people used to think, well, you know, I'm going to call a radio station, I'm going to yell at the DJ, play my song! You can yell until you turn blue. When you get off the phone with me, you can look like a Smurf. But I'm sticking to the playlist that I've researched and studied to make 3 radio stations number one at a time. And then number 1 and number 2 and 3. So when I was programming Foxy and K97.5 and Light, 1, 2, and 3. Not just, and they used to say, well, it's the number 1 station in the niche being the urban contemporary format or black radio. But the deal is that when listeners are listening, they don't care what color the music is. What color is the music? What color is God? Ooh, I really want you to answer that question. If he says we were made in his image, then we can, you know, cease to worry about what God looks like. He looks like all of us. All of us. All. And so we all carry that with us. Don't get nervous. There's ways that you can measure your goals. It's called SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Do you get that? Specific. What is you want to do? Specific. For me, I wanted to be in radio. Then I wanted to be the program director because I had a reason for that. I don't want people telling me what to do. So I didn't. So then I had to find a way to measure it. So when I started, I was the overnight DJ, midnight, hence the baggy eyes. There's other reasons, but I ain't telling you those reasons. I'm in school full time. So I wanted to be the radio, I wanted to be in charge. So I had to go to school, went to Tennessee State. And I said, you know what? I think I need to work. That was I went in 19, a long time ago. And I'm 19 hours away from finishing my undergrad because I never had time to finish. And I ran out of, well, I didn't really run out of anything. Willpower. Now, I don't have any excuses. I ran out of excuses this time. So, I'm going to give you the fast forward of the story. I worked in radio 30 years. And in between that, I had a lot of successes. Hundreds of awards and community appreciations, and I made a lot of money. Raised my kids. My kids still think, well, Dad got a lot of money in the bank. I was like, good. Have you noticed Dad hasn't worked in 3 years? 3, except for the brief stint at the Lexus dealership, but that's a whole different story. So where'd that money come from? Thank you, God. And my working wife. And who had sense enough to say, baby, you need to put some of this money away. So we did. It was a good thing because we ended up living off of it. And now, with those I say little boys, they're taller than I am. Dad, I need some money. Job fair this weekend. Go get a job. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. I'm going to spend a little bit of time with measurable. How do you measure your success? What's successful to you? What's successful to me is different than some other people in this room. Some people measure their success by money. Well, in the span, money is important, but it's not the end all. It's not the only thing. I measure my success by the amount of people I'm able to help, by the love I have in my life. My family loves me. They don't always like me. I can't figure out why. I'm such a likable, humble fellow. But what really happens is we go out of our way, I do, to help folks when I can, and I measure the success by them being able to do what they want to do, to accomplish what they want to accomplish. And there's nothing more gratifying than helping other people and seeing them grow. And there's some people in this room who can testify to that. Now, the other part about it, for attainable, the A part, SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Attainable. Is it something you can breathe into? Can I go get my PhD? It's an open-ended question. Can I go get my PhD? Yes, I can. Am I likely to? Yeah, I am. Because once I get this undergrad out the way, I'm going to go get the master's. Once I get the master's, I might as well, because I'll be in the mode of it. Prayerfully. Maybe it's something different for you. Maybe you want to start your own business. Is that attainable? You can. When President Obama was elected the first time, part of his thing was, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Everybody said, oh, Obama said that. Obama said it first. No, he didn't. My mama said it first. She did it. Yes, you can. You can do anything you want. You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. There's another way to say that. You can get anything you want. You can get anything you want if you help enough other people get what they want. This is true. It's the truth. And there's some people would say it's magic. I know how blessings work and flow. But when you're helping other people, it helps you not worry so much about your own little bitty problems. Even though they're not that small, but it makes them smaller when you focus somewhere else. And that magic in the universe, blessings, happens, and you create all this wonderful, my mama used to call it karma. What goes around, comes around. How do you know that? Well, there's only 6 degrees of separation. We probably cousins somewhere down the line. When they tell you, I got this because you helped me. I did this because you were able to turn me on to somebody who turned me on to somebody who turned me on to her, who put me on to her, and put me on to her, and I got that position because I was able to help him. Because we talk to each other. And if you know somebody, the one thing that we all do is work that network. At least if you're not, you should. And I heard Solomon say a little while ago that you should make sure in this room that you meet the folks that are here. You never can tell which one is going to be that says, oh, I got that. Yeah, I can do that for you. Absolutely. Yes, I'd be glad to do that. The other thing is, if you want something, ask. Let me give you an illustration. If you're able, stand on your feet. If you're able, stand on your feet. Use usually I do this when I first get in, but I figured we warmed up a little bit. And if you can clear your hands for a second. And when I tell you, I want you to give me a standing ovation. Are you ready? Are you ready? I see y'all smiling. You can't wait, can you? Now. Now, first illustration. Would you have done that immediately if I had not asked? So, my friends, if you don't ask, how will they know? Illustration number one. And illustration number two, if I'm raggedy as the day is long for the rest of this discussion, you better not say it, because I will have somebody say, well, they gave me a standing ovation. Thank you very much. Attainable. Is your goal attainable? Is it something you can do? Or is there another step in the middle? So you're not going to just jump out and be the president of a college or a university. There are some steps that go in the middle. Like, first of all, let's get an education. What are the steps that you need? Here goes that research part again. What do you need to do to get where you want to go? Well, if you don't know, find out. And nothing happens by luck. Nothing happens by luck. Nothing happens by luck. You've got to go get it. Get off your feet. Stop hanging around with buzzards if you want to fly. I'm coming. Are your goals attainable? Are they realistic? Is it realistic to want to, let's see, how can I give it to you in real plain talk? If you want to be a police officer, if you want to be in crime control, if you want to be in law management, you probably shouldn't smoke weed every day. If you want to be in law enforcement, if you want to achieve, if you want to do something worthy of somebody else, if you want to grow, you probably shouldn't smoke weed every day. You probably shouldn't smoke weed at all. I'm just saying. If we were texting, I would say, IJS. I just say. There's some things that I'm going to remind you of that you probably know, but that's what friends do. We talk to each other and tell you the truth. I don't have anything to lose by lying to you, but I have more to gain by being straight with you. Because somebody here is going to go someplace else, and some of these words will slip out of your mouth, and you're like, oh, but he put it in my brain. Yes, I have every intention of it. That what I have, I give to you freely. God gave it to me, not to hold on to, but to share it with you. And the challenge is for you to share your goodness, your essence, what you're doing with other people so you can help them grow. Understand? Are we together? Those goals should be realistic and then timely. The T part is smart. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. If I'm going to get my PhD, I have to do those other steps first. I got to get the undergrad. My professor, Imoni, who is right there at the farm, is a beautiful lady. And sometimes I find myself wandering in class. Because you ever have a daisy moment where you tiptoe? When she come in class, the lights get bright. And she's real smart. So it's hard to ignore her. And she's real tall. And I'm just sure. What? Because sometimes she's talking about organizational management things and theory, XY theory. Gosh, SpongeBob, she's pretty. She is. She's a beautiful lady. And she has the information I need to get where I'm going. So it makes more sense for me not to be thinking about pretty and better be paying attention to that lecture. Feel me? And the timeliness of your goals. You have to give yourself some room. You have to be patient with yourself. It's not always easy because we want what we want when we want it. We want it right now. We are so much an instant society. We even want our blessings from the Lord like that. I'm going to pray right now. Jesus, come in the room and bless us all. Amen. But is at fingertip. Information, depending on what you do for a living, and those things that you like for those odd proclivities that some of us have, phone call away. You probably ought to, consider the phone call you make, who you call when you do. Especially if it's not blessing you, especially if it's holding you back. Those things that are holding you, drugs, alcohol, sex, funky bad relationships, bad hygiene, sloth, laziness. I'm not picking on anybody in here because I know we all walk on water. But if any of those things apply to anybody you know, certainly not this group of saints here, you can share with them that those things that are holding you back are available for you to fix, opportunities for you to fix today. Today. I got my own issues. I didn't walk in, I didn't float in here. Well, kind of floated. I was flying to get up here. I'm so thankful that you were controlling. But here's the deal. If you are looking for it, you got to go get it. And you have to do those things that make sense. You have to do those things that are necessary to get to the next level. You got to talk to people, teach people, talk to people. Most of us will tell you, if you have a question, ask me. If you have a question about law enforcement, ask me. If you want to know about administration, ask them. If you want to know about specifics in her job or hers, ask them. They will tell you. And it doesn't matter what level of professional success you've achieved. There are professional custodians that will clean you out of this place. They're the best at it. So whatever it is you're going to do, be the best. Be the best. You couldn't tell me for a second when I was doing my morning show, when I was on the mornings, I was the best. I was good enough that when they put times going wrong, folks circulated a petition to put me back on. Of course, money talks and you understand. I understood. I didn't take it personal. It's hard not to take it personal, but business is business. But I managed to thrive anyway. So the other part of all of this is be prepared to change. Have your goals set up so the next thing is. What's the next thing for you? What's the next thing for you? The next thing for me is I want to really work my speaking business. I want to do this professionally. I want to travel and go get paid. That's what I want to do. So I say it out loud. I'm telling you now what the goal is. I want to do it. When I quit smoking in front of the entire listening audience at the radio station. I did it on the air in November of 1991 or 1990 on the Commit to Quit program. I was doing the morning show with Barbara Williams, and my wife had just told me that she was pregnant with twins. She already took my breath away. I might as well quit smoking. So I quit on the air. I said, I don't smoke anymore. I don't. I haven't had a cigarette since, I tried to smoke one time and got sick. At a convention when we do all those other things that anybody lives with. That was a long time ago too. Forgive me for those sins. We have at our personal disposal, you, these lovely young ladies in the back and on this side, and all these handsome gentlemen, at your personal disposal, more power than you could ever imagine. And it's inside you already. And that little magic, that little power is called resolve. Once you decide to do it. I feel like a Nike commercial sometimes. Just do it. And then, on the parallel side of that, when people preach or speak, sometimes they're talking to themselves too. Because when I leave here, I got a 12-page paper to write. Just do it. For that one professor that I just told you about. When I start writing, I'll be thinking about her. There's a way that you can get it done. Once you decide, it's an amazing thing how the universe is active, and every time you can take a step towards that goal, the universe takes a step towards you. The goal takes a step towards you. Until when you get to the point where you'll be in the middle of it, I am living my dream. Guess what, y'all? Remember I told you that I wanted to be a speaker professionally? What am I doing right now? I'm practicing. I'm practicing. The more I do it, the better I get. The same thing happens for you, young man, you, ladies. The more you do it, the better you'll get. Doesn't mean you'll ever be perfect at it. I was never perfect at being a radio. I was good, real good. Let me tell the story. Humbly good. You have to take decisive and immediate action. What did I just say? Do it. Just do it. And the other side of just do it is do it now. Now. What are you waiting on? What do you want to do? What do you really want to do? What's holding you back? I can almost guarantee the one thing that is holding you back right now is the person that's looking in the mirror back at you. It's you. And it's not easy. You know, it's painful when you look and say, what's wrong with me? Nothing. Get off your buns. Go do it. The first time you take a step, and there's something so cool that happens once you decide to do it. I feel better about myself. You'll feel better about yourself when you take that step and you'll say, oh, I am doing the thing. Outside you might say something else, but for this, you know, I'm doing the doggone thing. I'm doing it. I'm in school full time. First semester back after 25, 30 years, I had a 3.4 GPA. Never had a 3.4. Had a 2.9. Had a 1.7. Okay, I had a 1.02 at one point. You had to go to class, you know. I finally got that right. I didn't mean. It's hot here, hot. It's just me. We got real hot in that front row right there. So once you decided to do it, make the decision, take the action. Here, let me give you an example. I'm going to walk downstairs. Decision, right? First step. And then you have this momentum on my side, not because I'm heavy, not too. See my face? I'm doing it. Well, the same thing happens in your goals, in your goal life. You'll take that first step, then the next, and then the next. And it won't feel like it's an ascension at all because you climbed it up anyway. Some of us climb up out of a hole. And there's this thing in our friends and our families, and this is an aside from what I've been sharing with you. If you are hanging out with people, family, friends, church family, mosque family, whoever they are, and they're not encouraging you, if they are those folks when you are on your way to go do something good, like study, like show up for an exam, like go to the doctor, men, and that person that you call is not in agreement. Well, we don't have to do that right now. Let's go get high. My challenge to you is think about that first. Think about it. Why do they not want you to go be on your game? Let me share with you that they don't have the same vision for you that you have. And it's much more comfortable at first to do nothing and do it well. Nothing and do it well. We probably all know some folks who do nothing and do it well all day. Nothing. All day. I've been there. So I'm not just preaching out of your book, I'm teaching out of mine. It's easy for us to be lazy. Well, you know, it doesn't take any effort. I can couch up anytime. I got leather couches downstairs, nice red cushion fat couches upstairs. But my conscience would eat me up at this point because I know I'm supposed to be doing something different. I'm supposed to be on my game. What if I had decided, I'll fall in about 10:45 for this event? What would have been your impression? I can tell you what it would have been. That dude didn't even have the courtesy to show up. But instead, prayerfully, when you leave this place today, you know, we will have made enough impression on each other that you'll say, I can't wait to hear him speak again. And you'll tell somebody, if you need a speaker, I got somebody that'll light that thing up for you. That's my prayer. That's what I want. I have had the most wonderful 2 weeks working with the gifts that God gave me. Let me tell you about it. And these have been biblical stories, biblical proportions too. I got a call, first an email from a guy named Solomon. And we responded, correspondence. The next day after our initial conversation, I got a call from a brother named Moses. True story. Moses Goldman, CMU preacher. And Moses asked me if I would do a program, host a program on the 15th. Well, I've been asking God, hey, first of all, I doesn't have any money. Now, I wasn't completely broke. Broke is relative for all of us. And I used to be, not anymore, so don't try to rob me parking lot because you'll be disappointed with a big old dust ball in my pocket. I used to be that guy that carried $2 or $3 grand around. Because I had it. Which was insane, because if you carry that kind of money, what do you do with it? See, you used to do it too. Well, I'm glad we got over ourselves. Bless our hearts. Now my prayer for you is to have it, but not spend it unless you have to. There's nothing wrong with having discretionary income. I'm working on that today. And I want you to work on it too, so we get past that point where I call it a reactionary life and lifestyle. Light bill due, let me hustle up and make the money. Phone bill due, let me hustle up and make the money. Have the money. And then everything else you can put away. That rainy day thing that our grandparents used to tell us about, real talk, friends, real talk. Real talk. You better put some money away. Because you never can tell when life will act on you and put the circumstances in a way that you cannot respond. I have a friend of mine that called yesterday morning. Would you pray with me? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, first, yeah. What are we praying about? Well, my niece is 4 years old. They found a growth in her stomach and all her liver. Yeah, did we pray? Absolutely. Down some of that knees pray, ragged knee and all. I had to get down. Say, Lord, Father, help. Not for me. And I've discovered that when I pray for other people, the prayers seem to be much more successful. For other people's circumstances. To make life better for other people. Don't get nervous, I ain't gonna preach. But I can't. After you've decided, and then you've taken immediate action, and then you gotta focus. Now, successful people focus on being productive, not on being busy. Productive, not busy. Busy is sitting at your desk, looking at your favorite website, Facebook, seeing what all your friends do. Your friends aren't on Facebook, they're working. Talking to people that they need to talk to, making plans, and then following through. I went over to, I hadn't been to Radio 1 since I left there. I did not leave because I asked them to release me. I had a knee replacement. General manager, that was May 11th of 2010. I had a knee replacement, and then GM called me and asked me if I would come back early. I was like, I got to get cleared from the doctor, but yeah, I feel much better. So the day I got back, I got fired. That's the look I had on my face, too. You ever seen your dog when you make a noise and the dog's like, that's what I look like. Did you? Not like you said fire. Did you say fire? He didn't say fire. He said, we've decided to let you go. Go where?
Wow.
So I went from having a job, making a gob of money to not. And then my wife said, well, baby, what you gonna do? Nothing. And I did. I took 2 years and did not contemplate my neighbor. I'm not going to really contemplate my neighbor in front of y'all, I did couch time. It was therapeutic. I needed. I've been working since I was 21, every day, in radio. But what I came up with once I decided to it's time to get off this couch, because the couch was loving me too hard. The couch was making me pudgy. It's okay to be pudgy if that's what you like. I never had Dunlap before. Got it now. Y'all know what Dunlap is. Everybody else is like, I don't know what it is. Dunlap is where your belly done lapped over your belly. There's another name for it, but I don't dare say it here. So back to the productive. Productive, not busy. Productive. Doing it. Make your plan. And then when you've achieved that goal, make that step or the objective, then set up the next. And every goal or every objective has a next step. Every one of them. The next step. Okay, now I did that now. So here for me, it's the school, undergrad degree. You gotta take the classes. Those are my objectives. Set up for the next semester. Take 2 more classes. Graduate with my undergrad degree at 55 years old. About time. However, I've managed to have a good life on the way. Have I enjoyed the journey? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think I would do anything different. Maybe not be such a bum, not be so lazy, so I could have accomplished some of these things earlier, but you never know why God puts you where you are to do the things that you're doing, to meet the people that you meet along the way. So enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. Remember the lessons. Try not to do stupid stuff. And by the way, we all do stupid stuff. The trick is not to get caught in the stupid. We all do it. We all make mistakes. But once you acknowledge them, I probably shouldn't have done that. I was watching Scandal last night. Y'all watch Scandal? Scandal is. So the young lady had an affair on her husband. I'm going to turn around for a minute. Let y'all have a moment. Back. And Olivia told her that was then, that was 15 years ago. You made a mistake. My pastor's wife spoke a year or so ago, and she used this phrase that I will share with you. So when you make that mistake, build a bridge and get over it. Get over it. If you punish me now for the things I did 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and I was no saint, you would be convicting an innocent person today. Because the guy that stands before you now wouldn't do those things. So I forgave myself too. I'm moving on. And you should too. Stop carrying around extra baggage. Stop carrying around extra weight. Oh yeah, I'm a rotten person. No, you're not. You made a mistake. Next, move on. I want to give it all away here now. My mama told me before she passed, she said, son, I'm not leaving you anything. She used to tell me this, no, I'm not going to leave you anything. But I'll teach you how to get it done. And she did. You know the basics, cook, clean, and sew. I can sew. No, I can fix my cuffs. My wife hates me. I will darn my own socks. Why don't you just buy some new socks? Won't you leave me alone? I'm not bothering you. I'm sitting in this chair watching Scandal, darning my socks. It's therapy for me. It's like ironing. It's my mindless pursuit. I iron when I'm thinking. I promise you walk. But that's a whole different story. Successful people make logical, informed decisions. Remember a while ago we were talking about checking it out, research, look it up, find the answer, talk to people. The mistakes that I made, I will tell you, most of them. I will if you ask. How did you get to that point? I worked my tail off. I volunteered for everything. I did it for free for a long time. My first job at a radio station was cleaning. I cleaned the radio station. The stainless steel elevators at KCMO, downtown Kansas City, and WHB. I worked on the custodian group at nighttime. And it was 14 elevators. I used to lock up 13 of them. After I watched all that stainless steel down and sprayed it and made it all shiny and pretty, don't touch my elevator. That was a long wait. After 8 o'clock, one elevator and a building full of people. Not my problem. Don't touch my elevator. If you get to the point where you've begun to use your logic and you started to use that informed thinking, you've checked it out. You decided that you're going to go to this school, not this one. You're going to learn from this person, not this. You're going to apply to this company for a job, not this one, because you checked out the benefits package over here. It's way fat. P-H-A-T-T, fat. And over here, they're in the chicken wing circle. And they don't take good care of their people. Go with the ones that look out for their folks. But you've made an informed decision. If you're working for a company that doesn't take care of its people, if you're working for a manager who doesn't care about it, the only reason that you're still there is because you decided to still be there. If you want to make a change, you make the change. You do. You. Otherwise, when you look in the mirror with that dissatisfaction and anger and frustration, you should only blame you. You with me? We want things to be perfect. I'm not just doing perfect, it's going to be perfect. Stop it. Stop it. It ain't never going to be perfect. You're wasting your time. Do it to the best of your ability. And get next. So you can get going. You keep moving. Work outside your comfort zone. Most of us do things, well, I'm just going to go to the edge of the yard. I got 2 new dogs. Had a Rottweiler, 125. Beautiful dog. Named Hannah. Not like the more. And Hannibal was, he looked like a baby. Sweet dog. Well, Hannibal had cancer, we put him down, and my son brought home this box of puppies. Gave 2 away to a friend and talked my wife into keeping these boxer Rhodesian Ridgeback pit bull land sharks that chew everything. I finally got him a bowling ball. Here, chew this. The boy's trying to carry it. The Rottweiler would pick up a 16-pound ball, pick it up and walk up the ramp. The 7-month-old land shark is trying. But instead, since he can't, he's laying on the ball and gnawing grooves in a bowling ball. How do you do that? Because he got time. He's a young brother. He got time. I'm young, but I ain't got that kind of time to gnaw on the ball. It's time to move. I heard of Gabe today, so I can hang out with you. Nothing's going to be perfect. Move on. And then work out of your comfort zone. That comfort zone thing. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go meet new people. They're going to talk about me. They talked about Jesus. They talked about Muhammad. So that they're going to talk about you. What do you care what people say? If you look in the mirror and you know and appreciate the truth about you, what do you care what they say? When your family and friends say, oh, you're never going to make it, leave them alone. Leave them. And by the way, let me just ask this question. Just because they say it doesn't mean it's true. Their vision for you is not going to be the same as your vision for you anyway. It's not going to be the same. They don't see you the way you see you. And sometimes, a lot of times, they're looking at an old model of you. You run into those people who say, ooh, you just like you used to be. You ain't never changed. I challenge those folks and say, you don't know me at all. I am so not the same guy. I'm not the same. I'm growing all the time. I'm learning all the time. And so are you. And when they tell you that, don't let them put that on you. That's a curse. I'm not the same. I'm different. I've read the Bible 2.5 times. And not the same Bible, Eva. You have to be able to, and it's okay to tell people the truth about you, your truth. I can't tell your story or yours. I can't tell your story. You have to tell it. And when somebody puts it, I call it a bad mouth. They put the bad mouth on you, you can never so because you don't want to talk bad to your daddy. I know how I respond when my kids talk. I'm a hands-on dad. You know what I ask you to do? I might put my hands on you. I'm a hands-on parent. I got one little granddaughter. She's really my grandniece. She doesn't know. That's my granddad. Is what she said. My granddad. I know what granddad referred to. Ooh, granddaddy's right, amen. Granddaddy loves her, so I'm not taking that foolishness. But listen, that little girl, cut the mic off so you can get my wallet. But I'm going to take the money out first. When they they tell you you can't, consider who it is that's telling you. And then consider why, if you want to give them that much time. If you want to give them that much time, because a lot of the opportunity that they pass by, it isn't that they didn't have the opportunity. It's that they didn't take the opportunity. You don't want to be that way. You want to go ahead and if you have an opportunity presented before you, get it. When the merry-go-round is going to that ring, grab the ring. What's the worst thing that happened? You miss. Will you be any worse off? No. The worst thing about trying something and missing is you got to try again. But every time you try, you learn something. Next time I'm going to lean out. I'm leaning in. I'm going to get this thing. Those goals are walking towards you too. So step out of your comfort zone. Stop doing the same thing the same way. Doing the same thing the same way and expecting a different outcome is insanity. That's crazy. What brought you this far? And can those things, or will those things, take you to your next level? What is it you want to do in 90 days? Can you get there doing what you're doing right now? Can you? I already know the answer. You have to be willing to change up. If you see that there's a block, you got a couple ways to knock down the block. You can knock it down or go around.
Purpose Productions.